You Fooled Me.
You Fooled Me is one of my favorite songs on the CD, I think because of how well we pulled off the whole marriage of old and new, vintage or classic sounds with more modern sounding things, even from
the intro.
Yeah, from the intro, the record player starting. I think that kind of sets the vibe of what we're going for with the whole feel of the CD, really.
Yeah, in the first like 10 or 15 seconds, really, you're getting to hear the contrast of this old sound versus this super modern, new instrumentation and music.
Definitely.
For tonight, I've always wanted to have a song that kind of is oriented around a string section or a string riff, I guess. And so we finally have that, and writing that, I was so relieved to get that, and then having real strings on the whole CD was just unbelievable. So I love, that was kind of, for me, always my favorite as we were working on it, because I love the music. But we've always challenged ourselves, I think, or we've started to finally challenge ourselves to create music that you've never heard before. And I loved with the lyrics of Free Tonight about just living your life how you want to, and us writing all this new music the way we want it to sound. For me, it struck a chord for me personally. So as we were working on the song, I felt like I was getting from it and gaining from it because of the lyrics.
Yeah, and with Free Tonight, and really as much as I like Free Tonight, really it goes to all the songs, really. I think we did a good job of creating sound that matched the lyric, matched the mood of the song overall. I think it does a really good job of putting you in the headspace of what the lyrics are talking about and guiding you through the whole live your life type thing. I think it sounds liberating.
Yeah, the music is very like,
yeah.
All of the music, I think, and the lyrics, the mood of each other kind of complement each other.
I definitely like the whole group vocal thing, so it's pretty cool. I like that stuff where we play and have the crowd sing along.
Yeah, and that was another thing is with the whole CD where I felt like we were writing the songs with how can we do these live and how can we make them different.
Yeah,
and
the crowd more involved.
Exactly.
Yeah, because we obviously had a version in mind for each song that we wanted on the CD, but almost at the same time that we were writing that, we were thinking of how can we change this and make this even cooler live.
Yeah, and how can we bring it to life. A lot of songs I feel like we would not do certain things because it was, oh man, when we do this live it'll translate even better than having it on the studio recording. Alright, Relapse. That's the oldest song that we had written. Originally we had written an entire CD sounding like Old Divided by Friday, and Relapse was the first one and the only one that was written for that that is carried over onto this. But I think what I'm proud of the most with Relapse is that throughout the whole process of that song's life, we had different people telling us here and there, oh, the chorus has got to be changed, you should change the verses or the bridge. And with Relapse, the day one, the first time I heard Jose sing the melody, I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. So we stuck with it, and what you hear now is exactly the way we intended it to be from day one.
Absolutely.
2 years ago.
It was something that we really, really fought for, and I think that while it is the closest to anything that we've put out before, as I said before, it fits the mood of the song. It fits the narrative. I feel like the song really tells a story, and the music just complements that story. It has its peaks and its valleys, and it just keeps you kind of paying attention to what's happening in the story, and it's happening melodically and everything about it. It just, overall, it just fit. Even though it might be a little bit different from the others in the CD, it really just fit the mood.
Track 4, Rhythm of the Room.
Hey, talk about it?
Rhythm of the Room. Take it.
Yeah, I guess I'll take it. Rhythm of the Room was the first song that once we wrote it, we were kind of like, all right, let's just go for this. Let's write what we want to write. Like I said, we had a whole CD written of this old sound, and once we wrote Rhythm of the Room and we showed it to Hopeless and we showed it to management and our whole team, everybody was like, whoa, this is great, like let's go for this, why don't you guys try this for real? And so that was kind of the song that made us decide, like, we're gonna write what we want to write. Like, we love pop music, and we want to have it, we want to be a pop band with integrity and none of this cheesy fake stuff. And with that said, Rhythm of the Room is definitely a club song, but it's a song that, as we were doing it, it's one we've always wanted to have, and it's got such a good vibe to it, and it was, again, one we didn't want to force it to be something else, because it would have that song especially, it would have completely compromised the integrity of the song.
And we've always written that, like, even whenever we were writing songs that sounded different from that necessarily that old sound or whatever, while that was going on, we were always writing this style of music on the side and always hoping to one day release it. So I think that might be why when Hopeless gave us the okay to try something different, that was automatically the direction that we went in. It's because we had already been writing and recording songs of that nature, and that's what we grew up listening to and what I grew up singing, so it just made the most sense to try a song that sounded like that, and I think it turned out exactly the way that we had intended for it to be.
An outplayed keyboard on this song.
Yeah. It was definitely a big step forward, because, like we were saying, you know, this studio song, here I am, I'm used to playing these drums, and then we get to this song and it's like there's no drums, there's me playing a pad, and for me, it was definitely special, because, like I said, this is like a new ground for me to cover. I'm so used to doing lots of stuff, so I was pretty excited for that, and I'm excited, like you said, how the song turned out, because I've never attempted to do this type of stuff before in any of my past music, as far as releasing that is.
Better Off. I think Better Off is our ballad. I guess it's definitely the first time I heard it in the control room, I definitely teared up and got chills all over me. Because it was, we did all of the strings in the gospel choir in the same day, but in separate rooms. So as I was doing the strings with Zach, one of our producers, Jose was doing all the gospel choir stuff with Kenneth. And so at the end of the day, we got to put them all together, and hearing that for the first time was just unreal. Yeah,
that's another one that's really special to me. I grew up singing gospel music. Al grew up playing gospel music, so it was a part of our background, not only musically, but just overall a part of a life experience that we had. So being able to put that into a song was a really awesome feeling, a really cool thing to be able to do for the first time, really. I don't think we've ever had any gospel choirs or anything like that on a song until this CD, so it's been really exciting to explore that whole element of our musical repertoire and to be able to put that in there.
Longer Than Forever is the song that when we were doing the whole CD and writing the lyrics and the melodies, we realized we did not have a single just happy love song. And once we realized that, it was like, wow, this is a really happy sounding song, and it would just make total sense for that. So we definitely had all of the music to the song, and it was definitely, all right, let's just write a nice happy love song, and that's really all it is.
It's just a song about, you know, being in love with someone and wanting the best for, you know, your life spent together, and I think that's something that a lot of people can relate to. And whenever you're talking about all the dark elements or maybe the disappointing elements of a relationship, like some of the other songs are, it's good to have that silver lining and that
and we end on a high note.
Everything's going to be alright. It's going to work out.
Except for the very end with the last string. Your heart is just torn. So that's it. That's Modern Memoirs. There you go.